This is the start of the video of the Via Adriatica Trail. We just got here after multiple days of traveling, and unfortunately we're out getting our gear set up, and I realized I forgot my tent poles, so I'm gonna have to go to Decathlon and buy a cheap tent. It's like 35 euros. Oh, it really sucks. Like, my tent's sick right now. It's pretty small. It fits perfectly in my gear. And the new one is gonna take up probably like this whole area, because the new one's gonna be freaking massive. And it also weighs like almost like 2.5 times. Yeah, it sucks pretty bad. But went to the grocery store. We got a lot of salami, cheeses, and assortment of foods. I'll Tate's stuff set up. Tate's gonna have the light set up now. I mean, I already did, but now he's gonna have even lighter. And yeah, it's very unfortunate. Nice little rain storm happening. Holy crap. Yeah, we just barely got on the trail, so the first few days is kind of mellow, and then it gets more mountainous. It's about 700 miles, somewhere in the realm of that, and we're gonna be out here for about 2 months. I mean, exactly 2 months. But yeah, should be sick. First day is going pretty well. It's pretty easy. It's just like a lot of dirt roads. But we'll get in the mountains probably tomorrow or the next day. Well, 15 miles in. 16, I guess, because of Decathlon, a little bit over 16 miles. Just using my little pad as a little nice setup. It's pretty goated. Tate's just hanging out, doing pretty good. Little tent preview, pretty good considering it's like 35 bucks. About to take a dip in the ocean, and then continue on our way with the hike. Have some butt chafage going, which is bad, but we'll probably get it figured out, hopefully. We got 700 miles left about. So we just got out of the ocean, just chilling out, laying out next to the ocean right here. Pretty nice. We decided to get a hotel tonight, and we're doing a lot smaller day, so instead of like 20, we got like 22 miles yesterday, so instead of like 22 miles, we're probably gonna be like 10 miles. And it'd be nice to be in a hotel, even though we only camped 1 day so far. But the nice part is the next days we're gonna be out in the mountains, so it'll be way cooler up there, and just less cities and less road walking, which is ideal. I'd way rather climb mountains than do a bunch of city walking. Yeah. What's up, guys? It's day 3. We are heading up to a little kind of coastal town and to get some more food, and then the next town we're staying in is like Plomin, and stay there overnight. And then we were asking some people on the Facebook group, and some of the locals told us that we had about a 9-hour stretch of hiking, so about a day. But we're gonna have to haul water, and then probably about 5 days of food. And they said, Mom's gonna hate this, because they said that we need to like beat the bush in front of us, because apparently there's a lot of, I don't know if a lot, but there's some pretty venomous vipers out. And yeah, yesterday was good, got about 12 miles, but the GPS is off on all trails. That's what we're using to navigate. So pretty much what that means is today we're testing it to see if it's really off, and if it is, then we're just gonna have to kind of guesstimate distances, which sucks because it's really hard to plan for food and water. So like yesterday it said, I think 8 to 10 miles, but in reality we did 12, I think. But yeah, today we'll test that and see if it's what's really happening. But it's pretty cool in here. Finally on some trail. Oh, and I forgot to mention, last night had some of the most insane rain I've seen in a long time, like close to Arkansas tornado type of situation. So it's swampy out here. Stair stepper of doom. This is pretty freaking steep stuff. And it's like the worst temperature. Perfect for just sweating outrageous amounts. A little glimpse of what we're doing tomorrow, pretty much. What is up, guys? Day 4. We are about a little over an hour in, and we just did a pretty brutal climb from the bottom of Plomin, Luca, which it's like 1,800 feet below us or something like that. And we've done about 2 miles, but pretty brutal 2 miles. So pretty much today we have like a 9 to 11 hour day. We're trying to beat a storm that's supposedly coming in. We're trying to get to a mountain hut to get shelter before the storm hits. So we talked to a few locals, and some of them said 7 hours for this, and some of them said like 11 hours. The town's called Mala'aka, I think. Forgive my pronunciation, but yeah, it's pretty far out, but this is gonna be a 6-stage, super mountainous, really pretty. It's gonna be brutal too, but should be insane looking. So yeah, we're following the ridge line. It's pretty sick, as you can see. Hopefully we won't get hit by that storm, but we should be able to get down to the place where we can camp. If we got hit by a storm, it would be really bad right now, but we're gonna be going down kind of over by that big peak up there. Brutal, disgustingly hot today. It's not even hot, it's just perfect humidity for just like liters of sweat. Like, holy crap. But we are being chased by that storm, which looks insanely brutal. But yeah, that storm is chasing us, and we're getting lucky so far. If we would have gotten hit on that ridgeline, that's where we came from, that could have been terrible. Tate's in a no food coma. Hot. And hot. So that's where we're heading. The city down there is don't know how to say it, but we are traversing pretty much in the mountains back there around. We're not actually going down to the city, but yeah, it's pretty sick. We're literally on the corner of Croatia, going around, being chased by the storm. That mountain hut would have been an insane place to go. It was one of the weirdest designs I've seen. Futuristic almost, but unfortunately people are in it, so we're gonna have to keep walking along until we find something. So about to pull up at a mountain hut for tonight. Be sleeping and then head out for a little day tomorrow. That's pretty much it. We're at about 15 miles, like a bit over 5,000 feet of climbing, so it's been a pretty big day. But the view is freaking immaculate. What's up? Day 6. We just barely started. Tate's foot is bothering him again, unfortunately. We're trying to figure out things to do for it. And last night was good, but there was it was a very lively forest. There was a lot of animals going around. Tate's food bag, his bear bag, had a bunch of like some animal slobber on it, so it could have been like a bear trying to get into it. So yeah, there actually are a lot of animals out, and there's just like howling in the distance, and there's just weird sounds in this forest. So occasionally woke up to just things rustling around, which is a little scary, but we're alive. Might not be too interesting of a day, but we're trying to go into a town called Permani, and then we're gonna refill food and stuff, and I'm really wanting some like some treats. And then we go into this town called Studena, which is kind of the foothills-ish, and then we have a long time until another town. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of camping for a while. Probably no hotels or any apartments for a long time. Just tied Tate's shoes for him. We did not take into account that grocery stores apparently here are closed on Sundays. So there's no refilling food. So the next 4 days, we kind of just have to subside off what we have because there's no stores for about 4 days. And we'll just kind of be doing mountain hut to mountain hut. Yeah, I just did a pretty good little climb. Tate's claimed right now. He can't keep up with my pace, even though he is the one that was setting it. Crap. Pretty freaking brutal climb. Picture like Granger Peak West face with a freaking massive waterfall. But we're at like 4,500 feet. It's one of the tallest mountains around. That was freaking insane. How do you feel, Tate?
Pretty tired.
That sucked. It was just never ending, but the view up here is freaking sick. What is up, guys? As you can see, the view is freaking amazing right now. Set up camp just right behind me. Tate is eating a little bit of food. This is the end of week 1, so it's been pretty good. I think we have 107 miles, like 35 hours on the trail hiking, but more than that because that's just moving time. Feel pretty good. Having a little foot pain. Tate has a little toe pain as well, so we're probably gonna take it pretty easy tomorrow. Actually gonna kind of like a little mountain hut. We might do. We have to pay for it, and then they have like a buffet and stuff. So that will be pretty sweet to have. We've been out for about 4 days without really anything, and we weren't able to fill up food today, so I'm a little low. Tate has decent bit, but we really only have like random soups left and polenta, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, pretty good day. It's been awesome. The view is freaking immaculate out here. Yesterday was disgusting too. So I was like laying in my tent, just like completely naked, probably TMI, and just sweating. Like I was like full like laid out, just sweating disgustingly because it was so hot and humid. Luckily now we're on the ridge, so it's gonna like dry us out a bit, but it was freaking vile. Like just sweating, and then again there was like something moving around, like a bear or maybe some elk. There's a lot of elk out here. Something snooping around our campsite. So Tate sent me a text last night at like 10 and was like, yo, do you hear that? But I didn't because I was asleep. But I heard something. I woke up at like 1 because there's something moving around. So yeah, we're just gonna chill here. Probably like 10-mile day tomorrow. And yeah, just get after it. getting hella buffeted by the wind up here. It's pretty sick, but it's pretty windy. So hopefully this doesn't turn into a massive storm. Yeah, the weather's pretty sick out here. Essentially, we stayed last night at this lodge, and we had breakfast this morning, which was like a buffet. We were thinking it was gonna be like, you know, Harry Potter, the feast that they have on the tables type of thing, but in reality it wasn't as good as we thought. But yeah, my glasses flew off just barely, which sucks. But it's super nice to be out in the wind because it's finally cold. What's up? Little update. Ate some salami maybe an hour, 30 minutes ago, and having some violent bathroom problems. I'll spare the details, but it's pretty unfortunate because we have a big stretch without water, so if I actually had really bad bathroom issues, it could almost be dangerous. But this is why sometimes it kind of sucks doing these long things. I swear I always get something, some kind of stomach issue. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Tate's styling out here, half a glass. My glasses flew off the other day. Tate's one's broke on the side. And Tate, wait, do you lose your, or do you break your other ones?
I lost them.
And then Tate lost another pair, so we've had a rough time with glasses so far. But yeah, we just refilled in this little town called like Krellin or something, Krelgen, and got some supplies. We have a few days till the next city that we're gonna have to hitchhike to refill up food. But yeah, I think this next stage is kind of a little bit boring, just some dirt roads, but it's kind of nice. We've been doing a lot of climbing, and it'll be nice just to have some flat road to cook out some miles on. But yeah, we got an assortment of food, tons of Snickers. Tate got a ton of Snickers. I got a couple, some gummies, some drink mixes with like electrolytes. The selection isn't as optimal as I thought. Like, we've had a lot of soup and I'm really sick of soup, so I just did a ton of granola and a lot of treats. Pretty much what I'm subsiding off of for the next couple days. I don't even know what else I got. A few like candies. I talked to this guy and he was recommending some food to get. We haven't been too lucky on the food yet. We've gotten, it's been decent, but nothing's been like outstanding yet. So hopefully that changes soon. But yeah, it's going good. Is your foot feeling better, Tate?
Yeah, it's healed, I think.
Yeah, Tate's foot is doing better, and then my foot's also feeling quite a bit better, so should be a nice next stretch. Gusty morning. Decathlon tent held up pretty well. It was this windy when I took my tent down, which is pretty freaking impressive for like a $34 tent. We are heading to like a restaurant to refill water, and then just kind of got like 30 miles till the next town. Probably do a pretty decent day today, and then tomorrow as well. We have to hitchhike into this town called Senge. But yeah, it's been a good morning. Just had a cup of joe. guys, we are, don't know which day it is, but 12. Essentially, we are going down to the city center, and we were planning on doing about a 20-mile day and then hitchhiking down. But unfortunately, no one apparently wants to pick us up. Maybe it's because we look too scruffy. And we're having to hike down about another 9 miles, a little over 9 miles. So today's gonna be about a 30-mile day, which was not what we wanted exactly, but you know, sometimes, nah, this kind of sucks, but yeah, 30-mile day, a little casual one. It's pretty brutal. I was honestly expecting to be able to get a hitchhike, so this sucks, but what can you do? Already at about 8-hour day, maybe it's 9 hours, I think it's 5, so yeah, we've been going out for a long time. Almost there, probably about 30 miles today. My heels are going numb. That's just how they feel. And other than that, nothing to note. Today we just barely filled up at this mountain hut. It's right behind me. Got a Fanta. And yesterday was kind of boring, but we got some miles in. And then today we're heading up into the mountains, so it should be a lot cooler. And we're feeling pretty good. Legs don't feel that destroyed. We felt pretty terrible yesterday, just from the 30-miler we did 2 days ago. 3 days ago. Besides for that, all our foot issues are kind of healing up. So we're just talking about how the trails is a little scary because they're so well made. It's foreboding. Every time we've had a good trail on this through hike, there's just been something absolutely abysmal after, like the worst trail. Not even a trail, just like the worst traverse of all time. So these ones are quite a nice surprise. We are at a national park right now, so it's probably why. It's pretty well maintained. And after that last section, we're on a different stage now. We're stage 4. The stage 3 that we were going through had some of the worst, it was the worst bushwhacking I've ever had in my life, easily. Off to a very early morning. Had some insane winds at the top of the ridgeline, and there would look like there's a storm blowing in, but maybe there's not. Who knows? It's better to be off there though, because I couldn't sleep, neither could Tay really. Yeah, we're probably not going to camp on a ridgeline again. It's definitely kind of sketch up here because the winds get insane. What is up? We just refilled that little spring back there. The next town is in about 6 hours, probably 5 hours. But that from there we have to walk on the road to refill up at this little town called Gospic, and that's like a 12-mile walk on the road. So we're gonna try to hitchhike. Hopefully we can get someone to pick us up. If not though, we have to plan on an extra 24 miles of road, which sucks. But yeah, we've done this section a lot faster than we thought. So luckily at this point, we got to Camp Velebit and hitchhiked into Gospic, which was a lifesaver because it saved us like 12 miles of hiking. So we pretty much filled up with fuel and food and then got ready for stage 5, which is the big mountain stage. What is up, guys? We are starting stage 5. Luckily, we are starting it today. We got a hitchhike from this dude, which is sick. He brought us up to this hostel that we ate at, and we had lunch with him, and he paid for our drinks and stuff, which was sick. And he was a very interesting guy. He was like explaining how he committed tax fraud, and was explaining what he thought about Americans. It's a pretty funny conversation. But yeah, the next stage is gonna be sick. Tons of mountains, a lot of elevation. And it's the biggest water haul that we're gonna have to do. Or I mean food haul. So we're carrying about like 6 days of food, which is so heavy. But it should be an insane stage. Oh my gosh. Little update. Man, it's freaking some nice little rolling hills. It's steep as shite. I don't know if that does it justice, but pretty steep. It's hot as hell out here. It's like, I don't know. I said it was 94, but not up here probably. But yeah, it's pretty, with the humidity, I would think it would be somewhere around there, honestly. It's disgusting. Trying to make it to a mountain hut tonight. We've been in wooded areas the whole time. So hopefully on the ridgeline we get a little wind. It's been just still air, but yeah, brutal. Feels disgusting. It's like one of those times where you just get, I don't even know. Don't know what I'm getting out of this. Maybe a sick view. So clutch. So they got solar, potable water here. Insanely clutch, like so clutch. That was brutal. And it's way pretty out here. That's it. So great, no one's here. It's a little bit hot, but I will take it. We just barely left the mountain hut a little over a mile ago, and making our way on this next stage. We met this cool guy yesterday, Powell, right? That's his name? Yep. He's doing the Via Adriatica, which is kind of like a companion route almost to the Via Adriatica. It starts in like Slovenia and ends in Bosnia or Montenegro, I think, which is pretty cool. And he left way earlier than us. He's definitely doing a lot more miles than us too. But cool to talk to someone else. We hadn't talked to very many people except for till yesterday, honestly. But yeah, this stage shaping up to be pretty cool. It's gonna be a lot of climbing. And then the only sketchy part about it is there's a minefield, which we have to cross. It's like leftover remnants of mines from the Croatian Independence War or something like that, which is super sketchy because apparently the trail goes through this meadow, and it's kind of hard to see where the trail is, and that's right where like the front lines were, so there potentially could be mines. We just have to make sure to stay on where people have obviously walked. Besides that though, it looks like it's actually gonna be a bit shorter maybe than we thought, so we may have a bit too much food, but yeah, it should be sweet. My outfit's pretty sick right now. So I know I'm repping some new style right now, but we just left the mountain hut, about to summit a peak. Besides that, just had our normal breakfast of Snickers. Yeah, Tate dipped his Snickers in peanut butter. That's what he's been doing lately for extra calories. Pretty much right now we're crossing a minefield, sort of. The route for the Via Adriatica crosses a minefield. That's a couple points, and we were about to go on the GPS route that they told us to do. But apparently the peak we're about to go down has, it's like maybe has a bunch of mines on it, on the ridgeline, and there's no trail, which is stupid as shit. So we have to follow this terrible trail right now, not even a trail, to go around it, and there could be mines around. So I mean, if you're doing the Via Adriatica, I'd recommend to skip some parts of it and do the Via Adriatica route, just because the trail's in pretty bad shape and it's kind of hard to know where to go. And yeah, you might die. Pretty much they just told us on the Facebook group that we shouldn't cross the peak, but the peak is the route. I don't know, it's stupid. But we have somewhat of a trail to follow. Just kind of sketchy and nerve-wracking crossing it. But yeah, there's markings occasionally. Let's go. Should hit the highest peak. So we just refilled water at these shepherd's huts, and we are skipping this place called Tulip Grade or something. I don't even know how to say it, but it's supposed to be pretty cool. It's just it doesn't have the best markings for like 20 kilometers, and it's like actually where a real minefield is for sure. The other places were just kind of hypothetical, like there probably is mines. But it's been a cool stage so far. Pretty brutal. And then we're gonna decide what we're doing. We're passing by a town to refill, buy some more food in about 2 days. And we'll decide kind of if we're gonna stay there for a night or we may take a rest day somewhere. But that'll be along later down the line. Just documenting this is one of my low points. Just kidding, not really, but pretty much we are getting after it at 6:46 p.m. Not in the morning. So yeah, we hiked like 14 and a half miles, a little over 7 hours, you know, just a little casual trot. And essentially we found this little campsite thingy that we thought would be a good option, but this dirt road we're walking on appears to be like a kind of minor highway kind of deal somehow, and there's a bunch of people driving on it, so we didn't want to sleep there. Apparently there's like $1,000 fine. They may not enforce that, but we decided we would hike another bit to get off of it. So it pretty much means 4 miles maybe. But yeah, that's kind of what's happening right now. Tomorrow will be 3 weeks. What is up, guys? As you can see, unfortunately my strap on my pack is tearing off almost completely, which is great. Realized it yesterday. Just saw it last night. So pretty much there's a little top strap up here that I'm just gonna have to hope can hold until I can get a new backpack. So it's like a ULA backpack, and I reached out to them, so hopefully they can give it to my mom, and my mom's meeting us in 10 days, I guess 9 days. Pretty much hoping that she can grab that and they'll ship it to her. Hopefully they do that, because if not, then I'll have to just buy a backpack when we reach Split, which is the next really big city. And they have like a decathlon there, so if I did, then I'd just be repping all the decathlon gear, because I also lost my tent at the beginning of the trip. Pretty much we have 150 miles to go until I can get the new backpack, so it's just gonna be, it's been pretty painful on my shoulders the whole trip. So we just kind of have to deal with it for 150 miles, and hopefully in the next town we can maybe sew it or kind of zip tie it, jimmy rig it up so it works. What is up? It is toasty out here. So you can see the little zip tie I did to try and fix the strap. Seems to be doing fairly well. Made this little electrolyte drink just with table salt and sugar. Little World Health Organization recipe. So it's a little ghetto electrolyte mix, but it's cheap and it works. It just doesn't taste the very best, as you can imagine, but should keep us from dying, because it's pretty hot. And so tomorrow we have we just saw that we have like 6,000 feet of climbing to do, or 5,000 I guess, because there's a big old mountain that we have to climb and summit tomorrow, which is pretty much the mountain we're following for the next 4 days. And it's hot. It's really hot. Really hot. And very sunny, not much shade. So Take hopped in an umbrella just for shade protection. But yeah, we're gonna have to go refill water at like a puddle pretty much, and then get on our way to the next mountain hut. There's mountain huts up here, which is probably nice, and they have water supposedly, so that'll be good. We just got up to the mountain hut, and of course their little water cistern thing was locked, which is super annoying. I was so pissed off. Didn't film the part, but I was pretty angry. And then luckily we found a little house, and they had a little water spigot on it, but they didn't have the handle on, so we had to use Tate's multi-tool to open it. Luckily we had that. Just use the pliers to get it flowing. But if we didn't do that, would have had to filter from some disgusting barrels, and it was horrible. Because yeah, so pretty much we were planning on this stream the whole way to have water. Of course it was completely dried up, because this country has no water, I swear. And it's completely dried up the whole way, so we didn't get water there. And Tate only carried 2 liters for like over 15-mile hike, which is pretty terrible for you. And yeah, then we just barely filled up all our water completely, and are hoping these next few mountain huts have water, because if not, we would potentially have to go and hike back down and just skip this section if they had no water, because it'd be obviously impossible. But yeah, so we're gonna spend the night here, maybe fill up tomorrow one last time at that mountain, or at the little cabin, and then head out. There's a pretty big climb tomorrow. Only bad thing is I'm gonna have to carry a little bit more water, and my strap is tearing, so hopefully that doesn't completely tear it off. We just climbed, I think, the biggest peak. I think it is the tallest peak that will do the whole trip. We went past it, it's like 6,000 feet. Now we're just hiking down that ridgeline, which is pretty sick. And luckily, there's water now. At the last mountain hut there was at least, so we probably should be fine. It's pretty cool up here, and it's finally cool, temperature-wise. Might rain on us, but at least it's not. It could have been so bad. It's nice and cloudy and a little bit of wind. It's like actually the first time I've been cool the whole trip, pretty much, except for one day. The other day was at Big Home Platic. But yeah, should be a sick day. Already a decent amount of vert. Pretty sketchy looking out here. We're just trying to make it down. It's kind of exposed on our ridgeline, of course, with lightning, but we're trying to make it to the next mountain hut. Kind of half running it right now. It's really sketchy looking though. It's kind of sick. I actually do like the questionable weather sometimes. Pretty good lightning show going on though. Dude, that lightning, holy shit. Wow, it is sketch. We just took shelter under a tree because we couldn't get to the mountain hut in time. Not really under a tree, just kind of like, yeah. A little lull. So we're trying to run to the mountain hut. It's so freaking sketchy, bro.
So we just eat right there.
Pretty sick. You can just literally climb around castles here. Yo, we just got hit by another rainstorm while we were filtering water at this little pond thingy, spring. It's pretty immaculate. It looks pretty cool, but yeah, it sucks that more rain. Oh, I should add this in too. We were walking up the street and this old lady comes up to us, points up at the sky, and then she hands us these little, like, I don't even know, they were like random things off the tree, like nuts or something. They weren't even nuts, like I don't even know what they were, like little like undergrown seed kind of things.
Like apricots maybe?
Yeah, essentially like they were like apricots that hadn't even grown at all. Hands each of us one and then points at her. She had a €1 coin, and then points at her lips and then points back. And I look over at Tate and he had the funniest expression because he just started realizing that he was being hustled. But yeah, it was pretty much one of the most random experiences ever. It was like she literally just picked something off the tree when she saw us walking up just to try to get some money from us. We're like, no, we don't have anything. She didn't speak English, but yeah, it was pretty crazy. Pretty funny little random thing. And we also got Fanta just barely, which was sick, at this little kind of souvenir shop. And she was super nice. She gave us like extra cookies and chips. But yeah, we're just gonna finish up the day with this little rainstorm. Nothing we can't handle, or haven't handled way worse today. What is up? We are getting into the mountains again, and last night it was pretty funny after all the lightning thunderstorms. We almost got attacked by dogs, these farm dogs, which is super sketchy. And then we pitched our tents, and there was a bunch of mountain lions, like two, I think, right maybe 100 feet from our tent, like really close, screaming, which is kind of a sketchy sound. And then they left, which wasn't that scary, but the worst thing was they let out the cattle. So we were thinking they had the dogs with the cattle. So we packed up our tents, hiked up in the dark, pitched them again up further. So it was one of the craziest days. Easily the craziest day I've had here, maybe in my life.
So, to explain the landmines a little bit better, they were set during the Croatian War of Independence, which was from 1991 to 1995. There's 10,000 or so landmines and ordnances that are unexploded. And they just have mine suspected areas, so this is about 100 to 150 miles. Just as a forewarning, the stage 7, which is a stage we're in, the end of it has a bit that actually is a mine suspected area, and so we were going off the trail and weren't too worried about it, but you should be really cognizant and trying to stay on the trail at this point, which was something we weren't aware of, which is quite scary.
What is up? We're doing a little tour of the mountain hut. It's pretty sick. This is where we're gonna be staying tonight, hopefully. It's the main room. And then you come into the kitchen, which is sweet. So it has like a stove and everything that you could need. It even has a well inside, which is sick. And then upstairs, they're pretty comfy, and they don't have, pretty clean. It's nice little double-decker beds. But yeah, one of the mountains we stayed in was so bad compared to this one. The one we stayed in had like all these bugs that would just like crawl out when you weren't looking, and so we ended up setting up our tent inside of it. And it wasn't anything like this size. It was, the mountain hut was barely had 2 beds, didn't have a kitchen or anything like that. Yeah, this one's hella luxurious compared. There's a pretty cool view out here too. What is up, guys? It's been a few days since we left the mountain hut. Hasn't been all that much. It's really happened. Hasn't been super interesting, but pretty much traversing into Split, which is, I think, is the biggest city pretty much that I'll be going through, and we'll hang out there for 2 days and meet up my mom. Luckily, but backpack company they got me a new backpack, so that'll be nice to get that in Split. And yeah, we just had a funny interaction with this dude. We sat at his house, talked to him, just like super rural Croatia right now. And he gave us tomatoes and a cucumber from his garden. And yeah, he was telling us about his war stories, I think, showing us his scars. Couldn't really understand too much. Showed us a snake that he killed. Just some random stuff. It's hard to understand. I really wish I spoke Croatian. It would be super cool. But yeah, it's cool. tomatoes are good. First good produce we've had pretty much the whole trip. So. We're about to get into Split and spend 2 days, 2 whole days. It's unheard of, doing nothing. And we're gonna meet my mom, get some new shoes, new backpack. Tate, show the shoes. Show the shoe. This kid's shoe is
That one's better.
pretty much dissolved, essentially. Yeah, we're getting to Uber down. Hopefully this guy picks us up. What the frick? But yeah, we're getting an Uber down. Last bit kind of sucked, but yeah, it'll be nice to have the day off. Just kind of do nothing. We have a decent little apartment kind of downtown. Yeah, Split's the biggest city, so we're gonna refill, kind of get some new fuel for the stove, explore maybe, potentially, get food at the supermarkets, just get fattened up for the next section. But it's pretty toasty. 2 days later, and we just got resupply. My mom is here.
Save the day.
And she saved the day. We got new shoes, shipping out the old backpacks. We got a new backpack.
New conversation.
Some new conversation, potentially. Headphones, you know, just like all the resupply stuff. We're rested. 2 days was pretty good. Ready to get after tomorrow. But yeah, it's pretty nice to have all new stuff. Got a new like shirt and everything.
Well, I'm here. There was a lot more conversation yesterday, whether they liked it or not. And we found out that I'm really thirsty. But this isn't about me, it's about these guys. And we are heading out of Omas to somewhere else. That's all I know.
That was her time to shine. Only footage she'll get the whole trip. Taking my mom on a nice ridge line. And she's freaking out slightly, but it's pretty freaking cool. And we're staying in another town tomorrow, and then we're starting a mountain stage, which will be awesome. But there are gonna be some very big climbs, like most ascending and just descending of the whole trip. We are starting the last mountain, pretty much, of the whole trail, like the last big mountain. And it's called Biokovo. But pretty much, it's, I think it's like 5,500 feet up. We actually skipped the very top of it, but yeah, 0 to 5,500 feet. And
I'm staying home because I've been slowing him down on the technical stuff.
but yeah, unfortunately, it's not because she's slowing us down, it's just because it could be kind of dangerous. She's skipping the mountain and meeting us at this little town called Igrain or something.
Too much FOMO.
And she's having FOMO and she's very scared. Pretty much it's like, we got in a taxi and the lady was like, don't do it. And then some other people are like, it's super sketchy. But I think it's just because people occasionally go missing on this mountain. Or just like die, I guess. Yeah, we started out with a lot of water, like 8 liters. But there's a mountain hut up. It's really steep though. I think it's like, yeah, 5,000 feet climbing and like 3 to 4 miles. We have started the climb. We're probably like 2,000 feet up elevation now. And it's really not that bad, knock on wood. So see how progress is today, but it does not appear to be anything worse than what we've done so far. So far, emphasis on so far. There's Elijah. You're probably a little bit glad. Had to put away the poles. Pretty good. Yeah, slightly steep. Yeah, as you can see, it's probably good my mom didn't come. It requires a rope to get up. I'd be chilling, like, wouldn't feel that bad if I didn't have my pack, but yeah, it's pretty annoying to do this stuff when you're kind of off balance. Yeah, it doesn't seem too bad though, I guess. We'll see. Oh man, it's pretty steep. It's literal climbing. Like, kind of rubs you the wrong way though, when you have to do this. Just because it's like, I feel like they should put a little memo out that you have to climb. And they say that you don't on the website. They should. There's just such little descriptions on this, but yeah. Climbing up to this mountain hut, which is pretty lame. They won the group chat. They said that it was just a little bit of rocks, not technical at all. And here we are. Rock climbing up. I think when I'm done with this, I'm gonna leave. Make maybe like a website, put some more info on just for people that are doing it in the future, because yeah, you just don't know a lot about a lot of this stuff. Whew, so yeah, essentially we just got up most of it. I think we're pretty much all the way. Yeah, it was pretty steep. So yeah, if you're on stage 10 and you're about to go into the mountains, just a forewarning, there is a decent climb. Kind of rock climbing. Not the most technical, but if you're not comfortable with that, I would recommend trying to find an alternate route. And I'm really glad we did not have my mom come. She would have probably died. And it's super lame that they didn't let us know about this in advance, because that was not just like casual hiking. Especially when you have like 8-liter waterfall and you're climbing. But we made it pretty much. Yo, pulled up the mountain hut. We were considering staying here for the night, but they have their water cistern or whatever. I think it might be a well. I think it's a cistern actually. And it's locked, which is great. So we did do a big water haul because we were kind of forewarned that it was going to be locked. So we probably, I mean, they say it's a 7 hours to the next water, but I'd figure probably 5 hours. We're just a bit better at this point. Ouch, just ran into a thorn. What is up? Another update. We have about 4 hours until we get to the water and the mountain hut. Pretty much, we're climbing 2 mountains. One of them is actually called Saint or something, I don't even know. Eliha, which is kind of sick. So it's actually just Elijah's mountain at this point. And yeah, forest fires going strong out in the distance. What is up, guys?
Today we just finished up the part that we're gonna do in the mountains. It was pretty brutal. It's like walking on the moon. Like there's huge craters everywhere, and then it makes it really hard because you have to go down and then come back up, and so it's just super slow going. The trail is pretty much non-existent. So it was like a mile an hour. Like, kid you not. And then to top it off, we got called from one of the guys we've been talking to. There's not a ton of information on the trail, but this guy his name's Boro, shout out. He's super cool. He's been helping us out with info on the trail. And he was talking to one of his buddies that's a firefighter, that's working the fire right now. And apparently the fire is actually going over where the trail is. So we are having to drop down this little trail, and we're at a mountain hut right now, so we're gonna spend the night, drop down the trail to a different town, and then have to taxi, and we're just skipping the rest of the mountain section. So the trail tomorrow will kind of suck because it's like a mile and like 4,000 to 5,000 feet of descent, because it's just 5,000 feet to sea level. Brutal. But at least we're not gonna have to walk through fire. So that could have been sketchy. If we didn't have info about it, we would have actually been walking through fire, or would have just had to flip around, which would have sucked. But yeah, today's been brutal. Tomorrow should be chill, just a big descent, really short, and then basically gonna, just hit the bus and meet up my mom. And yeah, we still have a ton of food, water up here, so should be chill. It's been really pretty so far on this stage. Just a bummer that we have to cut it a bit short, but at least we got what we did. All right, next day, and we are going to be dropping down today. The forest fire may have gotten a lot bigger. The whole town below us is literally just covered in smoke. So hopefully we don't encounter it on the way down. Air quality is abysmal out here. Very, very smoky. Kind of sketch, but I'm not really too worried, to be honest. We just have a 5,000 foot descent, but it's really short, so I don't know if that's good or bad. And then we're gonna take a bus up to this little coastal town and then start the trail from there. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. There's I think simultaneously 100 forest fires or something starting in Croatia at once. So just some casual global warming for you. And yeah, last night we just slept at the top of this mountain hut, and we got assaulted by all these bugs. So we had to set up our tent in the middle of the night. Besides for that, slept decent. And yeah, we're just gonna have to dip down. We are in Ploče, and we just took the ferry. And we are heading to the peninsula, to this little town. I don't know how to say it. We're gonna spend a night there. We have a few more days left. The trip's almost over. Then we may go to Austria or something, maybe Greece. It's cheap. The flights are super cheap. And my mom is back with us. I think we got a video of us reuniting. So we actually skipped a little bit of the trail, which would have been coming up those mountains and just kind of over and down, but it would have sucked because there was pretty much no trail. And yesterday I also fell off the trail twice.
Down those thorns.
I don't even know where to get started because I can't get leverage.
Can you slip your pack off, maybe?
I'll show a video of it, but I literally just fell off, slipped off. These rocks broke off twice. And then I actually had a pretty decent tumble down, like maybe like 6 to 8 feet. You good? Yeah.
Where'd my other pole go?
Right there.
Luckily, I was fine.
Is this showing my face? Right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a fun time yesterday where we hiked through the stickiest brambles, and they were so pokey for like 3 miles on kind of a really bushwhacky trail. And then at the end of about 17 miles, we had an Airbnb booked. And when we got there, we found out they double booked us. And I was like, what are we gonna do? I have like this crazy rash on my ankles, and I probably lost 20 pounds in sweat that day. And the boys were like, well, we're just gonna have to hike up to that ridge up there. It's only about 2,000 feet. And then I said, no. And they were like, what do you mean no? But luckily they found us a place to stay, because there would have been much sadness.
This is the end, potentially, of the video. So we are getting pretty close to Dubrovnik, which is the end, pretty much the end of the trail. And it's been pretty sick. This last little bit has been pretty much just dirt roads, so super chill. And Mom is still with us.
Not dead yet.
Not dead.
And it's my birthday.
And yeah, special shout out to our birthday. But it has been pretty cool trip so far. And yeah, we have 1 day of hiking tomorrow, then we're gonna take a bus into Dubrovnik. We're gonna skip a little bit of the trail, but pretty much finish it all off. And I think we'll be close to 600 miles. Feel pretty good though still. No injuries. My upper back is pretty ruined from my backpack. Just doing such big water hauls. I have like a pinched nerve. It's a minor foot plantar fasciitis, but nothing too bad. The best parts, there's been some really cool views. The worst part has definitely been the heat. It's been really hot on average, like absurdly hot. And then the also worst part is there's been some pretty big water hauls, like 6 liters. A lot of the time we've had to carry 6 liters, which is 6 liters is over 13 pounds, I think, of extra weight just from water, which is insane. We had to do an 8-liter water haul a bit ago, which ends up being 17.6 pounds, which is pretty absurd.
What's your favorite stage?
Favorite stage probably was stage 4, because we went through a national park and the trails were actually really good, which is pretty much all the trails have been terrible. They've been cool, but they have had some really bad trails, like bushwhacking. Stage 4 was really nice. There's some really good trails there. And really pretty national park. And then it was the intro to stage 5, which was the mountains, which was really brutal. Also pretty cool, but I think stage 4 was cooler in my opinion.
What's your favorite thing you've eaten here?
Favorite thing I've eaten has been Big Home Platic. We had this strudel that was fire. But in general, the food's been kind of mid. No offense to Croatian people, it just hasn't been as good as I was thinking.
What's the nicest thing someone random has done for you?
Nicest thing, there's been a lot of cool people. This one guy gave us like tomatoes and cucumbers, and like he was offering us water and stuff. We got in a few hitchhikes. Some dude bought us coffee for lunch. A lot of help with the trail and information, which is cool.
What is your favorite piece of gear that you brought?
Favorite piece of gear is the mat, the pad that we're using. And we're just using like a Nemo, like this pad that's it's not an inflatable one, and you can just set it down on rocks and anything and just chill. We use it like a chair. It's been super clutch. Biggest regret was definitely forgetting my tent, because I had to carry a 6-pound tent, and my backpack definitely caused me some shoulder pain. Yeah, but overall it's been sick so far. And we are going to Prague
in the Czech Republic for a week, which will be awesome.
With no backpacks.
Yeah, with no backpacks, no insane hiking. I'm sure we'll walk around, but yeah, we're a little tired of backpacking.
Are you glad you brought your brother?
Is he glad he brought me? I don't know. But it's definitely been a really cool experience. We're super lucky to have done it. It's been extremely brutal. And I may do a write-up about the stages and stuff, just for future people that want to do the trail, just to give a little more info and insight, because it's you kind of go into it with little information. Maybe they'll fix that on the Via Adriatica in the future when more people do it, but it's still kind of relatively unknown. So I might do a write-up just kind of with some pointers of like where it's sketchy, because yeah, it wasn't that sketchy for us, but honestly, if you weren't going into it with a decent bit of hiking, maybe some climbing experience, you could be in some trouble. Do you have any finishing?
Thanks for joining us.
All right. Is that it? Should I end it here? Do you want to give any thoughts, Tate?
I've been listening and listening, watching The Office, so.
Do you have any insight?
About what?
The trail, what do you think?
It was good. It's been hot. It's really hot right now. That's kind of all I can think about. But yeah, I'm glad I did it.
Raving review. We'll end it on that. So, peace.